But we're not! Because we are here. A quick introduction and then we're going to do some stuff. So over here I have the fabulous.
Hi, I'm Melanie. I teach,
Yeah,
I
you
teach. Right?
It's a professional thing. I don't know if you know.
I teach theater at PS 294 in the Bronx, K through 5.
Hi, I'm Ia, pre-K to 5th in Astoria, Queens.
I'm Helen Wheelock. I am a teaching artist. I specialize in early childhood and all over the place. And I'm excited to have you in this space. Thank you for bringing your brains from all day to here. This is going to be a doing thing, right? Because we're early childhood, early grades, and that's how we roll. With lots of interruptions for talking and reflection. But I will tell you a little more about what we're going to do. But the first thing I'm going to do is just stand on it. And I'm just going to do a quick count because I and when I point to you, just say 1,
1,
2, 3, 4,
5, 6,
7,
8,
9,
10,
11,
12,
13, 14, 15.
16, 17, 18, 19.
because I don't like that 19 is just a wrong number, right? Then divide by 2, 3, so we got 21. All right. So you can step in and step out. The first thing we're going to do is incredibly hard because we might as well start at the top and then work our way down. And some of you may be like, I remember this. We're going to go up to somebody and you go, hi. I'm Helen.
I'm Luke.
And a food that I'm looking forward to, a food of the season that I'm looking forward to is apple pie with vanilla ice cream. And then you would share.
A food that I'm looking forward to. Can I use a drink? Is that okay?
Yes, you can. Yes, please, because then we're coming over to your house.
A good White Russian.
Ice cream White Russian, I'm just saying. You can also feel free to use the elbows, however it is, or you're like, don't touch me. And then you're like, oh, that was lovely. And then you're going to go to somebody else, and you're going to do this, and then you're going to go to somebody else, and you're going to get everybody. And you're only going to have 40 seconds. So you ready? Go!
Facilitated classroom management.
How?
Gesture and verbal.
Mm-hmm.
And it was collective response.
And how quickly was it collective? Because you may not know, because I made eye contact. Like, and pause. Some people are like, I know this one. And pause. And then the group, we became like an ensemble that was like, all right, everybody, and pause. That's the heart of the work that I'm sharing with you today, is like, how does the individual become a collective? And how is it about engagement and student management? So we're working on that. Did you get everybody?
Yes.
You are the biggest liars ever. All right, you got 20 seconds to grab anybody that you didn't get. And go! 20 seconds, go.
What's your name? Nina. Jonathan, yes. Oh my God, mine too. Looking forward to pumpkin pie. Hey, Jonathan. I'm looking forward to that as
Let's all say that. And pause. One more time. And pause. You've learned. If you didn't get it, just look around. If you didn't get anybody, just look at everybody. Like, who didn't I get? And then on the way out, find out what they're eating for the holidays. And then you can invite yourself over. Great. Step up. We'll just make a big circle. Where you are, you don't have to go back to your chair. Your name is not on your chair. I promise you.
It's too tight over here.
I know. Thank you for making the adjustment. Well done. Well done. So in transparency, I would say the first activity was low exposure. Who can share with us what low exposure means? Diga.
For me, in my class, it means that everybody's doing the same thing, so nobody's focusing on any individual.
Which can be incredibly terrifying, right? Isolating somebody. So I was talking with one of the folks with the idea that we're doing community building in support of the individual's voice. So there are mouthy folks who will be pop out, and then who getting focused on will scare them. So how do we support them and their voice? Depends on how you fit. But so think about what food you were, or beverage you were looking forward to, and that there might be a gesture. And we're going to go around in a circle, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, you. All right?
Okay.
You okay?
Sorry.
Okay? Did I jump on you? Sometimes I go this direction because we always go right, because we are right-handed dominated. So sometimes just mess with it. All right, so I'm going to start, and then you'll call. So my name is Helen, and I'm looking forward to eating apple pie. Let's all say that.
Eating apple pie.
My name is Jonathan, and I'm looking forward to eating pumpkin pie.
And then you're going to say, because we're well behaved, pretend you haven't heard this before. He's going to say, let's all say that, or let's all do that. I do that because the young people will pick it up, but you need to give them the clue that you've changed the rules of engagement.
Let's all say that.
Eating pumpkin pie.
Hi, I'm Amanda, and I'm looking forward to fresh maple syrup. Let's do that together.
Fresh maple syrup.
My name is Maya, and I'm looking forward to cornbread dressing. We all do that?
Cornbread dressing.
My name is Christine, and I'm looking forward to eating gingerbread men.
Give them a round of applause! Good writing. I'm just going to pause. You're all educators. What did I just do?
You welcome the student. Made them feel like they belong.
Lateness wasn't an issue.
They made it. Right? Who? Okay, we had our gingerbread. What do we got?
My name is Luke, and the food I'm looking forward to eating this season is peanut butter pie. Let's all do that.
Peanut butter pie.
My name is Gabrielle, and what was it?
Welcome to your young people's world. Right? So we got, you got this. Let's all say that. Let's all do that. Just think about why. Totally cool. Yes?
I'm Scott. I'm looking forward to drinking almond milk eggnog. And
Let's all say that.
let's all do that.
Here we go. Can you just feel how we were all like, wait, what happened? Why I'm asking you to model it, so you're not like, I want to eat apple pie. Let's all say that. Let's all do that. If I'm not modeling it, then they might like, I missed. What was he doing? They need to catch up. So we're supporting that. It's not a you perform, I observe. But I am coming over for your own. Yeah, what's that?
Hi, I'm Joanna, and I'm looking forward to eating stuffing. Let's all do that.
Eating stuffing.
Yes.
My name is Gretchen, and I'm looking forward to eating turkey legs. Let's all do that.
Eating turkey legs.
Hi, I'm Lindsay, and I'm looking forward to blending the butternut squash soup. Let's all do that.
Blending the butternut squash soup.
Hi, I'm Ia, and I'm looking forward to eating apple crumble pie. Let's all do that.
Apple crumble pie.
Hi, I'm Tony Ann, and I'm looking forward to eating stuffed artichokes.
Ooh,
Let's
that's
all
nice
do
detail.
that.
Stuffed artichokes.
I'm Renee, and I'm looking forward to pumpkin pie with whipped cream. Let's all do that.
Hi, I'm Marissa, and I'm looking forward to eating pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie. Let's all do that.
Pumpkin pie.
Hi, I'm Danielle, and I'm looking forward to eating mashed potatoes. Let's all do that.
Mashed potatoes.
Hi, my name is Rob, and I'm looking forward to candied yams.
Oh,
Let's all do that.
Candy yams. I gotta know what's going on in that house.
Hi, I'm Maggie. I'm looking forward to getting corn pudding. Oh, let's all do that.
Corn
pudding.
My name's Chris, and I am looking forward to eating mac and cheese. Yes. Let's all do that.
Eating mac and cheese.
My name is Melanie, and I'm looking forward to eating piping hot soup. Let's all do that.
Piping hot soup.
Hi, my name is Nina, and I'm looking forward to eating pumpkin pie.
Let's all do that.
Pumpkin pie.
I'm totally gonna yuck all your yums. My name is Michael, and I'm looking forward to stuffing from the bird. Let's all do that.
Get it? Vegan, vegetarian, I'm sorry.
I had to deal with pumpkin pie.
Ready? With enthusiasm. Tell us again.
Stuffing from the bird.
All right.
Stuffing from the bird.
Now we got it. Watch, everybody watch it. There we go. And a little round of applause, even though we were full. So, wanna or I wanna?
Oh, so from that activity, we'd like to ask, what kind of struck a nerve, or you were like, not quite sure, and yeah. And what other light bulbs or aha moments did you get from that you can take with you?
I think an aha moment I took with me is that I find that, especially on the first day of class, students are very nervous and timid to ask other people their names or to introduce themselves. So I feel like an activity like this where they're just saying their food and you're repeating the food instead of the name is kind of like a icebreaker that they can just like relax, and then you can get into like the typical stuff.
And also, I think that food is very cultural to ourselves, so I feel like that's a good way to kind of incorporate the whole class and making them feel inclusive in the environment.
And along the cultural aspect, like you asked, can you tell us about that food that we're not familiar with?
Also, I feel like names don't really mean anything to me. It's a terrible thing to say. I'm horrible with names. I've been doing these things for 9 years. I never remember people's names from thing to thing, right? But I'll remember this. I'll remember this. And I'll remember the mac and cheese. Like, I'll remember that about you, and it teaches me something about you rather than just your name.
Adding on to that, it also helps establish the community within the room, because oftentimes when kids want to have like class parties or bring something in, might be someone who's allergic, or like you had said you were a vegetarian, it sparks other conversations that's like, oh, okay, maybe I won't bring in this item, or maybe, we just connected on that moment. Now I already have a connection with someone.
I think having it where we said, let's all do that, like it's a little bit nerve-wracking, even as an adult, to come up with like a motion, and it kind of feels awkward, but then when everybody's doing it together, you're not the only one in the room doing it.
Mm. And I felt people built confidence as they did that. The next step that I would probably do with that is like, because I'm very bad at names, we're just going to go Helen, apple pie, and then we build that vocabulary of the gesture. I mean, you could spend hours on it, because it's still building all those blueprint goals. We're talking about emotion, we're talking about gesture, we're talking about character. There's some character stuff that's going in. Yeah.
And also, like, the collective is validating this thing you like, which is...
Yeah. Yeah, how did it feel when people chanted whatever you offered back?
I was, like you, I was a little like, turkey leg, and I was like, oh, maybe what if people don't eat meat? Oh, I feel bad. I'm like ripping the bone off the bird and eating it. And I suddenly very empathetic.
I know, you're not thinking,
I just ate, I say I'm hungry again.
Yeah.
But also think about like working with younger students. As an adult, like I was kind of distracted and like wasn't centered. And with my students, that happens all the time. So like finding those moments to say when I see it happening, like you kind of was just like, all right, keep it moving. But it's just finding those moments for the kids to breathe and like be centered.
And I think that's incredibly important, but also when you're looking at me as a facilitator, what was I doing during the activity to hopefully encourage folks or support folks or whatever that is, that I didn't just start the game and go, do it. Right?
Another thing, connecting to what you just said, I am vegan, but I can still support this thing that you like, you know, so we can support each other even though we have differences.
And it's pretty handy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we didn't say that you couldn't do the same motion as somebody else, so if somebody couldn't think of what to do, they could always repeat a motion.
Yes. And, you know, there's always that balance between you find a group, this isn't a great assessment tool. Who's feeling strong physically, who's feeling strong verbally, like just, and how do you say, it's okay, I like it, doesn't matter. And how do you adjust and correct without making somebody feel like I just messed up? You're doing it for the first time, right? We're adults and we go like, what? So this is also an experience for us to remember what it's like to be the students. Well, those students are being asked to learn and do something brand new every single moment of every single day. They can't get comfortable. It's always like, learn something new. But I was just, so, yeah.
I had a question though, because you gave us the option of saying, everybody say that or everybody do that, but we still said and did everything.
Let's all say that. Let's all do that. Because sometimes it's interchangeable. For me, let's all say that is an invitation. It's all of us, including me. So I'm not just like, I'm in charge of all, and you all need to dance for me. That's different than repeat after me. I have like PTSD about repeating. I don't know what it is. It feels like more of an introvert. And if young people aren't participating, I'm not going to be like, why aren't you doing it? Not helpful. Some people are physical, some people are verbal. Some people, depending on the disability, may not be able to do that. They also might be like, so you're building trust.
Sorry, the reason I ask is because say and do are two different things.
Yes.
So
say it because the phrase, or do it because, and the person who's doing it will make a decision. Because you are saying and doing at the same time, I just simplify it. Let's all do that. So show me that gesture. Let's all do that. Because I can't not put a sound effect to it. I can't, just because I want multiple levels of engagement. Which is basically what we're going to do moving forward in the session that I've been doing. What we're doing is I'm doing like a breakdown or a deconstruction of a series of sessions that I did with some after-school people to create a show and performance. Because I was told I had to with young people. To that end, before we jump into that performance, we'd love for you to think a little bit about that performance. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is make groups of 3, and you folks may have to step in and step out. Groups of 3, just make a group of 3. And switch B. Why? Same C. Add again. What? Principals or families?
It's a chance for the kids to be able to feel proud about something they've accomplished, something they've started and finished, not something they've just, barely worked on and here's what happened, and maybe I passed, maybe I failed.
Let's all say that. And pause. Now we're going to rotate through the first speaker. Again, it's always interesting, like, who's A? I'll be A! Versus now you're A. So now B, you're going to start. We're going to write B, C, A. And here's the second prompt already. What is it going to be? It's going to be, why do students want to perform? Go.
Other classrooms and other large spaces because with other classes it helps always learn. So this is the presentation I want to do. You have to stand up here so I can give the speech. But with performance, there is still those expectations, but you
switch
have
to C.
It's just a natural connection. You feel, it's something and something I think is maybe super good for people. That's what I think. That's what they feel.
I think they want to perform for entertainment. They want to entertain their friends a lot of the time. The kids who are really confident and kids who like to clown around and perform and put that clowning to good use and be able to make their friends laugh. But I think that also they're in really big
Very nice, very nice. Now, guess who's going to start this time? C. So smart. All right. Why? Okay, this is, you got to think about it, y'all. C. Why do you want your students to perform?
I want my students to perform because they need to learn how to use their voices to show what they know, to speak up for themselves. They really need to build that confidence because, like I tell my students all the time, they're going to be 20 people signatures, they have the same interview here, and they're going to make sure that everybody else prove it to me, show me. So that's what makes me want my students to perform.
And switch.
And not the things that they're making, people care about hearing and people care about seeing it. Like show off the time.
You did it! And switch. Because we're also coming out of COVID, and all sorts of things has changed and all that other fun stuff. This is a free form, so anybody in the group can just launch in. What kind of performances are you being expected to do? What's going on in your school? What are your what's going on? Talk about the museum. Don't talk to me. I don't care.
So I actually do it.
So not every
I don't know.
I've never done one. Because I took it in 2 years. Hopefully.
And just thank your partners. I didn't ask you to introduce, but if you have to introduce yourself, just like say hi. What's your name? Any out of your groups of amazing three brains, anything pop to mind that feels useful to share with the whole group? What's going on?
Finding and making opportunities for all grades to showcase all grades.
Anything else coming up?
We're all D75, so we're finding different, well, similarities in what we want for our students and how we're doing our shows to meet their needs.
Are you finding a tension between their needs and the expectations of either the parents or the adults? She says in a leading question format.
Sometimes.
Mhm.
It happens. Some parents think that their, student will be able to, like, I don't teach music, I teach theater, but like, why isn't my student playing the guitar by now? And just kind of balancing things like that. Or are you going to teach my daughter to tap dance this year? And so, but honestly, it doesn't come up in D75 as much as you would think, from my personal experience.
I'm trying to form more of a theater-focused program. Right now it's more visual arts and literacy, so I'm kind of spearheading going that way, and I'm trying to get parents to support theater and administration to support theater, and realizing how beneficial theater is for my students' communication and academic goals.
I work for a D75 school too, and that really resonated with me. I feel that for our students, our families, their expectations are not very high at all. But administration, the expectations are very high. So just trying to kind of like, meet somewhere in the middle to do something really great for these kids.
I'd love to throw out, especially to D75's teachers, I do a script writing unit with my kids where they take picture books and adapt them into scripts, and I'd be more than happy to share as opportunities for performance, because then it's got the literature and the performance combination.
When in doubt, steal and share. Let's all say that. When in doubt, steal and share. You're going to make it your own anyways, and that's exactly what this session is about. It's me deconstructing, and it's based on a text that some of you will be like, but we'll show it after. Yeah, if you want to sit on the floor, you can sit on the floor. If you want to sit on your chair, sit on a chair. I don't care. I'm going to sit on the floor because then somebody can tell me I'm happy. Sorry. Do they not know the challenges? Do they not know the challenges? Memorization. Let's do that. Memorization. Who do I cast? Oh. Who do I cast? Oh. What happens when they disappear? What happens when they disappear? What happens if they don't care?
What happens if they don't care?
I taught after school, was teaching after school, and my boss said, you need to do an end of the year sharing or a holiday thing. And I was like, no, don't make me, because I was worried. I was worried that I would end up doing what I was seeing some of my other specialists do, yelling at young people and the young people being nervous and miserable. Not so much a fan of that. And out of that emerged some strategies that I've been using that I'm going to gallop you through. That. And we'll stop every now and then to go, if you have any questions, right? Like just like that. If you don't do it exactly like I did it, then I choose to respond. People have asked, I rarely show the book first, because you don't need to know, because I'm going to be sneaky. I'm going to ask you to just hold your young people on your shoulder, just for a little bit, just they're sitting there, but I'm going to ask you to engage as yourself, because why not? Let's do this. And the first thing we're going to do is think a little bit about context and investment in the story. For instance, I will be honest, and last night when I was setting my phone, I had unusually several moments of panic, because I was worried that it was not going to go off, and I didn't want to miss this, and that would be a bad thing, and I'm usually not bad. But I literally got and did my phone, because, what happens with our phones is we sometimes forget to
plug them in and charge them.
Yeah, we plug it in, we forgot to play this, right? But I had, so everything was cool. But then as I plugged my phone in and then it goes, dink, because it doesn't make that joint right there, I was realizing how much I take for granted the thing that makes my phone work. What's the little magic thing that comes in through that cord that makes my phone work? Electricity, right? We've got electricity in all our spaces. Where in your home do you have things that need electricity?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Are you sure everywhere?
Yeah.
Where's one? Okay, well, I heard kitchen. What's one thing that needs electricity in the kitchen?
Air fryer.
Air fryer. Oh, we can come into your house. Yeah, air fryer. Let's all say that. Air fryer. Fancy. Okay. What other things need electricity in our? Yeah. The refrigerator. Yeah, because if the refrigerator what happened to our refrigerator? What stuff happens to the refrigerator?
You don't have food. It spoils. Otherwise, you're just eating canned stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Canned stuff. Not that I'm knocking canned stuff, but like I am of a certain age that my mom is of a certain age, and they weren't called refrigerators. What were they called back before? Ice boxes. They were ice boxes because what was in the box? Ice. And sometimes you put a little sawdust in it so it wouldn't melt so fast. So it was a box with ice in it, right? Now, the refrigerator and the things melting and all that other stuff and the air conditioner going on and my phone not working, because how can I live without my phone? I know, it's impossible. But those of us of a certain age will remember a little while back when somebody or something went to all the power in New York City and just tugged on it. That's all you ready. 1, 2, 3, tug. And all of New York, during the day, thank goodness, it just said, yes, remember this? It just went, yep. And we're like, the light's on, but the light's not on. Yeah. And and then we realized it wasn't New York. It was like 2003. It wasn't New York before any of the kids were born. And it was not just New York. It was like New York, the state, and then it was the entire East Coast.
East Coast, yes.
And as I was discovering this and down in lower Manhattan and having to go up, so we were all like, what's going on, right? We were like, there's no light. And I walked my way up and over, and it was getting dark because it was the summer, right? So we were going up, and everybody was selling ice cream because it was all melting, and there may have been some beer involved, but you know. And it's a long walk because guess what works on electricity? Yes. I'm walking, it's getting dark, right? It's getting dark, and then we go up over the Queensboro Bridge, which is like that. And I got to the top, and I just stopped for a moment. I looked all over Queens, and it was amazing because it was pitch black. But you saw like these little hummocks, and I thought, this is what it was like before we brought electricity. Like I felt like I was looking into the past. And the story that we're going to do takes place in the past, like way past. Let's do that. Way past. No electricity, no batteries, none of that stuff. Because if you don't have a battery and you don't have electricity, how do you see? What do you use to see at night? Fire. Well, in danger, yeah, you gotta be careful. Or what else might we use? A candle. Can you show me what like? And then, have you ever walked with a candle? What happens to it? Oh yeah, you got to do this, right. We're like, and then it melts and it's all over your hands. So I like my electricity, but there was a time when there wasn't, and also there weren't watches. So we just sprang forward, fell back. What did we fell back? You know, what is time? People are like, there's more light. No, there's more light. Not light. It's the same amount of light. And it just said, but back then they didn't have watches. They looked to the sky, and when the sun came up, they'd go, ooh. Morning. That's all that video. Morning. And then the sun would go. And like, noon. Yeah. And then it would go. Night. No lights. Time to sleep. Well, that was a good time, right? But then they go morning, noon, night. And that's where our story takes place. Way back when there was no electricity. And when you told time by the sun. Pause. Just turn to your partners or your groups. What was your experience of that as a participant? What was your experience?
I was immersed. And we weren't even in the story yet.
I felt I mean, I grew up with I kind of know, but it says you did.
When you read it last time.
Now,
sitting, I never see.
I just felt so good. I came here.
Anything pop in your mind in terms of what your experience? What was your experience? Yeah.
I think it was super engaging with the movements. It's after lunch, so some of us are a little sleepy, and our students are usually sleepy after lunch too. So having the movements, helping them be engaged in the conversation and also the storytelling was super helpful.
So, storytelling. I am being a storyteller.
And you're making us tell it with you.
I
whether
am.
you like it or not.
Whether you like, and if you don't want to, I don't call you out because that's mean, but I
We're
might
still in it.
stare at you. Right. Right. And I'm identifying a strategy that, if I may say, because my friends like Redditor, that's called for me interactive storytelling. That's a strategy that we developed, which is like you tell the story, so you're storytelling. Then you ask, you get call and repeat, not call and response, call and repeat gestures with lots of repetition, and then you start asking questions and you reincorporate in it.
I felt like you also tried to connect to their prior knowledge because you left certain words out and let the students discover those words.
Yeah, I know where, like I said this before, I know where I want to go. I don't care how I get there. You're going to offer different ideas. Yeah.
There's so much less distraction because they're not focused on looking at a book with pictures and they have to be present for it. There's no room for looking away and getting distracted or focusing in on something that's not what you as the storyteller are trying to get them to focus on.
And I was also thinking about my English language learners, all those hand movements, like, you did it over and they figure, oh, it's the sun, the watch. Yeah.
The questions also helped me stay engaged with the story because it wasn't just passive listening. So, like, even though it wasn't, like, tricky questions necessarily, like, I still, like, was, like, using my brain and being like, oh, I know the answer to this. And so that was, like, really keeping me in it.
And I'm also saying, for me, I love participant-centered work, student-centered work, getting their ideas because they're far more creative than I am. It's also, they'll remember it. But I'm also allowed to put input in and discover things and share knowledge, and like Icebox. Like, I love using Icebox. That just happened today. It was the first. I'm like, let's just build vocabulary. It's nice to expand.
You started us with the current, like, we know some things in our kitchen, and then to the recent past that would be before a lot of our kids were alive, and then to the faraway past, so it like moved further away from our lived experience, but started there.
Yeah, I mean, because what is time?
I like the motions with the vocabulary words that might be unfamiliar with the kids. If they don't know icebox, if they don't know candle or other vocabulary words, having the motion gives them another way to get exposed to it.
It's theater.
Yeah.
It's theater, y'all. It's theater, theater, theater. Sound and gesture with everything we do. Why are we... Don't waste your energy just using words. I mean, that's one of the biggest challenges for theater is that we tend to, think, oh, it's universal. No, it's not. Not if it's just language-based. If you're not putting your body into it and your voice in it, if you're not modeling it for your young people, think of all the literacy and theater skills we're just building. What did we just do? We throw them out. What do we do? Build ensemble.
Use voice.
Use voice? Yeah, this is not a trick question. This is not one of those questions. Storytelling. We're storytelling.
Use of body.
Gesture.
Yep. We do a little emotion. Motion up and down.
Expression,
Yeah, mad, bad, bad.
The routine, the fact that you still incorporated the let's all do this, let's all say this, has been established here in this space, and you used it to help create the story and helped to continue engaging everybody too. Just from where you're sitting.
But also the content, the history.
Yes. I mean, why not, now we're going to the past. It could be, I would love to do a whole unit on New York history, doing that and then rooted that. But that, that's for your all brilliances to go on. We're also rehearsing. So how would they tell time? Exactly. If they don't remember it, and then yes. So we're We're building that capacity. Yes. All right. Moving on. Character. So we have setting, environment, past, when, a little bit of a frame on that. And so where the story takes place is not in New York City, which is huge. Let's all do that. Huge. Even a long time ago, New York City was huge. But we are not in New York City. Let's all say that. We are not in New York City. We're not even near New York City in like a town. Right? Like we're not in a town. Let's all say that. We're not in a town. Huge and then town. No. We're a little farther out from all that fancy smancy stuff. We're in a village. Yep. Village is really, really small. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows everybody. And remember, this is a village a long time ago. Let's all say that. A long time ago. So they might have different kind of jobs back then than they would have now. So what kind of jobs do you think people had in a village a long time ago? A long time ago. What kind of jobs?
Farmer.
Come again?
Farmer.
A farmer. Ooh. What kind of things do farmers do? Grow food. Ooh. What kind of food do you think they grow?
Corn.
Corn. Oh yeah. Do you know how to grow corn?
Nope.
Anybody know how to? What?
Put a seed in the ground.
I was like, we put seed in the ground, and then what happens to that seed? It grows in corn. Let's all say that. Grows in corn. We got farmers growing corn. Yeah, we got grows in corn. We got farmers. That's great because we need some food. What other jobs might there be?
Woodcutter.
Woodcutter. Oh, tell me about woodcutters.
Woodcutter, they said chop.
Oh, they chop. Chop.
Chop.
And why would they need to chop? Are they chopping?
To build a house.
Oh, to build a house, because I didn't know you were chopping down a tree, but then you have to chop a tree. So, like, woodcutters are house builders, yeah, so they got chop to that, woodcutter.
And make fire.
And make fire, oh, yeah, exactly, and fire. Chop and fire. In the corn, we got all this stuff going on. So we got, who do we got over here? We had farmers, and we had woodcutters, and then what was, is there another job? Yeah.
Sheriff.
Uh-oh. We're gonna go there, aren't we? You know, we can't have a dominating force behind that. Now, let's go, I went there. You opened the door and I just what's the job of the sheriff?
To keep people safe.
One would hope so. And what's one way? all the parents are like, what's going on? Yeah. What's one way that a sheriff can keep people safe in the village? What's one way they could, or recommendation that they might offer to keep people safe?
Stop people from stealing.
Stop people from stealing. Oh, what's one thing that can help stop people from stealing?
Patrol the town village.
Patrol the town village and keep an eye out. Yeah, and don't forget locks. We got to put some locks on their things because you know if it's there, sometimes you just But oddly enough, in our town, the sheriff not so busy. I felt like everybody was a sheriff, but sometimes there was like a group where like they were in charge. So we had the sheriff. You had the sheriff. Who was the sheriff? You had the farmers. What were they doing? They were growing corn. And then we had the
woodcutter.
All right. Yeah, I feel like we so stand up now. And then of course we had the woodcutter. Yeah, watch out, little red. Chop. For fire. Yeah. So there were other jobs there, but these were like the three. We're gonna get the turkey. I tell you, I'm just saying scaffolding, y'all. Just watch the scaffolding that I have built in. Some people. So right here, we're gonna make this group. Just for now, we're gonna make this group the sheriffs, right? And over here, we're gonna make you the farmers, and then over here we're going to make you the woodcutters, all right? So I'm going to put you over there so you're going to come up. So come together as the woodcutters, and who are you, the? Farmers. And who are you, the? Sheriff. All right, so in your small group, just come up with one line or phrase that describes like why you're the best or what you want people to know about you and the job that you do. Okay, one line, one phrase, okay? One line or one phrase.
What do you want?
You're the biggest.
You're
I got
Be a troublemaker. You got the line or the phrase? All right.
You say all.
The farmers are lost. All right. Okay. All right, we're gonna do a whole group Tower of Babel rehearsal. One of my issues with developing.
I like the rhyming.
Wow,
Let's meet work.
We're the farmers. We're the farmers.
All right, what we're gonna do is what I love doing is I hate like you rehearse and we all wait, and then you rehearse and then we all wait. That's just a waste of time. Tower of Babel rehearsal. That's I'm trademarking that. Tower of Babel rehearsal. So when we count 1, 2, 3, you're gonna do your gesture and your phrase at the same time. All of you. All right. It can turn into each other if you're like, what am I doing? Okay. All right. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
We provide the lumber for fire and shelter. For fire and shelter.
And pause. So again, just in terms of transparency, you were like, we got this, and you all did it. You're like, oh, we don't have it. Which is why we don't want to waste time rehearsing until you all figure it out. I don't have to be in charge directing you all. You need to decide, and what you'll find is you will simplify it. I'm so separating you. But you will they will simplify it themselves. We use too many words, us tall people. And they're like, I can't remember all those words. Well, why are we saying them? So practice one more time. You all ready? Did you edit your epic? Jeez Louise, I already got issues. I'm ready to go to their family. At the count of 3, we're all going to do it. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
We provide the lumber for fire and shelter.
All right. So, welcome to this village a long time ago. Let's all say that. A long time ago. We're here to meet some of the people in this village from a long time ago. And over here, and they have like a special thing. What happens is the audience says 1, 2, 3 action, and then the villagers share what they do. So we're going to have this group of villagers go first, and all of us are going to say 1, 2, 3 action. We're going to find out a little bit about who they are and what they do. Ready?
1, 2, 3, action.
And hold on a second. That was the wimpiest, laziest. Not here. And I truly am not. Like, unless they're going to be committed, like, get them on it. And
1, 2, 3, action! We provide the lumber for fire and shelter.
This troublemaker over here. All right, y'all ready? You better be on it. All together. And
1, 2, 3, action! We work from sun to sun. Our job is never done.
And who are you?
We are farmers.
I was just checking out with that, right? And over here, last and make it these have a nice thing about that. You're still trying to figure it out. And I'm just also going to pause, and I sometimes consider myself like the court jester or fool. So what am I doing to hold everybody while you're like trying to figure it out? Just think, this is just part of storytelling, and that part of our role is to keep and support. It's not classroom management, it's classroom engagement. Versus, y'all ready? Better be. All right.
1, 2, 3, action! We're always watching.
I'm a little scared. That's our village a long time ago. Let's all say that a long on, if somebody were to say a philosophy of casting, what did you just observe of this particular process?
Everyone work together and come up with one cohesive idea.
Group casting.
Yeah. Why only have one farmer? Why only have, I mean, for a while I was like, oh, thanks, sheriffs. I'm like, I don't care, it's my village, I can do whatever I want.
Everybody had the same task, but they decided how it was done as a group. So they took ownership.
Not my responsibility.
Voice and choice.
Voice and choice, not my responsibility, I don't have to remember. And you may have seen me, I've done fill in the blank gestures, and this was over here was the 25 classes and you're like, I have no idea.
What would you do if and a kid didn't want to participate or didn't want to like perform?
Okay,
So how would they be engaged?
their choice. Are they gonna sit and observe or say, can you come and give me notes, where do you think that, you know? I think I'm very much of like, be part of the group, you don't have to do it.
Okay.
I have a gen ed student that's nonverbal,
Yeah.
and he often gets to be my personal assistant.
Yeah.
And he gets to go around and listen to everybody else and make sure they're doing.
Are they ready?
That's what I'm just trying to think with a lot of my D75 kids, like when they walk in and do an observation, they're expecting the kids to be engaged and always, you know, doing the task at hand, and they may not want to that day. Something could have happened, maybe they're just not feeling it.
Oh, yeah. I'm really, yes,
Thank you.
ridiculous. I am also annoying because I sometimes think observers have forgotten.
Yeah.
And so the question, I was sassy, I was like, so what are you looking for? And how do you define engagement?
Right.
Everybody doing the same thing is not necessarily engagement. You could be like, yeah, whatever, but are they on task and are they adding to the community? And are they building the skills? Am I being participant-centered? Am I meeting that person's needs? Sometimes they just need to go and get a pencil and draw and say, can you do me a favor and draw me a picture of the seed. I think it's doesn't, and it's not letting me off the hook either. Like
Right,
that's not
why
like
I don't want it to come off as.
exactly. You try, and you're like, come on, you can do it.
Yeah.
I see that, and then you move on. Don't put too much pressure on them, but you're like,
Yeah.
and then
Sometimes
okay,
the
so
more you-
it goes back.
And kind of like what you do throughout this, you have been doing is like kind of constantly checking in. So you could be sitting there doing nothing, or watching and being but you don't want to participate. Oh, you want to join us now? No, okay. Just keep checking in. If the observer sees you, continually trying.
Yeah.
That's all that should
Remind
be.
you can also have a nonverbal.
I-
You can also have a nonverbal student doing like a one-step device, doing the 1, 2, 3 action, helping to facilitate.
Help me out here, yeah.
Right?
Putting them into. Actually, you all are brilliant. You know this, and I think what I'm hopefully modeling is this is goes back to what did I say? High exposure, low exposure. Creating a world where they can participate. I'm not very much of a, but I am always checking in and reminding them because also sometimes this work is also it's tiring. Doing all the gestures, you're like, do I have to do a gesture again? No. But that's part of it. But we've also now we've talked about whole group casting. You all created your own script, your own gestures, your own background. What roles did you all play? Like literally, what character roles did you all play?
Sheriff.
You did them all.
Villagers.
We did them all. So then when I break them up, they're like, I don't know what I made them. What did? Like.
Well, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a little bit. Like I deliberately chose to try and put him not in the role that he initiated, and then we all, let's all say that. Let's all do that. The one idea becomes the whole group. Yeah. So we're sharing ownership, and now you split it up. And next time, depending on how kids do, they'll remember because they've all done it. We've all rehearsed. We're all bringing it in. And so now, again, this is over sessions. Now we've got a village, we've got the jobs, we have a sense of the community, and then we bring in the problem and conflict. So, what was interesting about this village is because they had no watch. They would tell time by the sun. They would go. But they also noticed that, you know, you have morning, noon, night. Was that right? Morning, noon, night. That when they were paying attention, it felt like the light was like, there was this much light, and then there was this much light, and then this much light, and then that. The light was disappearing. And they got a little scared. Can you give it to me a little, like a little anxious, little, you know, like. And they would come to, they knew, I mean, it happened year to year, but you never know. They would come to what they called the shortest day. And on the shortest day, they would all take their little fire into their, where they lived, and they'd go, I hope the sun comes back. Let's all say that, ready? I hope the sun comes back. And they'd wait. And then in the morning, they'd open up. There was the sun, but it felt like, oh, there was more sun. Okay. Oh, you know, there was more sun. And there was more sun. And years passed, but there was always that time during the shortest day where they thought the sun would disappear. And there was one day where all the sheriffs were doing their sheriff stuff. Can you show me from where you are? We don't have to stand over there. Yeah, and the farmers were doing, what were they doing? I can't remember. They were and what over here?
We provide lumber for fire and shelter.
Yeah! These are my people. Keep my eye on you. And they were all doing their work. They were looking at you, and they were growing things, and they were building things until suddenly a young kid kept running, and he goes, "There's a stranger coming. There's a stranger. Stranger." And I gotta tell you, this village, not so fond of strangers. Not sure what happened, but not so fond of strangers. So all the sheriff folks, they were like, I'm not paid enough for this stuff. They took their fire and they went into their, I mean, they locked their front door. How do you think they locked their front door? Yeah. And then, of course, the farmers, what do you think they did with their, you know, they went into their house and they locked. How did they lock it? Yeah. And over here, the house, you must have like expert locks over there. There's just, that's a big, and they were like, and in came a stranger. And I mean, it didn't mean that they couldn't like, you have a little peephole. Can you do a little peephole? Just checking in who's coming. And the stranger was walking in, and boy, they looked hungry. Can you show me a hungry face? Ooh, yeah. And, you know, some of the fat villagers were like, oh, and they're like, no stranger. So stay. No stranger. And the stranger came up to the first door, and she's like, oh man, I'm hungry. Maybe they got a little snack, and I was like, knock, knock, knock. Let's all do that, ready? Knock, knock, knock. But over here, the guy was like, shh. Nobody's here. Came over to our friend the farmer. He's like, I bet they could smell like the corn. Knock, knock, knock. Same thing happened. Came over last night. This is my house, really special with like fire going. So clearly people are here. Knock, knock, knock. I'm just really hungry. Guess what they said?
Nobody's here.
Is this in Brooklyn?
Yeah. And the stranger was like, I see what's happening. Let's all say that.
I see what's happening.
Oh dear. Let's all say that, ready?
Oh dear.
It's too bad because I guess I'll just make my own special stone soup and guess no one else can, but it's okay, you know, because so many famous people love my stone soup. Like, what kind of famous people do you think love the stone soup?
Frank Sinatra.
Oh, Frank Sinatra! Y'all don't know about Frank Sinatra, but he is the king of swing. Frank Sinatra is like, oh, that soup. Let's all say that.
Oh, that soup.
What other famous people might look? Oh, The Rock, you know. When the rock says, "What's cooking?" Talking about my soup. No. Any other famous people?
Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger! Oh, brown sugar, I'm telling you. But I guess I'll just have to eat it all by my lonesome. Let's all say that. All by my lonesome. So out of this pack, big old pot. And then had to go down to the river, because every village is by a river, because where else are you going to get water? And put it on there, and just was like, okay, now I got to pick the right stones. And he looked around and was like, everybody look around and look for like a really good stone. You got a really good stone? Oh, perfect. And then just from where you are, just toss it right into the... Oh, can you smell that? Can you smell what the rocks are cooking? Okay, and then...
You see what I did? Set you up for that one.
I know. And so the stranger started stirring and stirring. Let's do that. Stir, stir. And it was like, oh, it's so good. But you know, and all the villagers were like, what's up there?
I mean, you know, the rock.
Yeah, it's a little rocky.
The one,
And they said, all we need, I mean, it's delicious, you can smell it, but boy, only the water were hot, like really hot. But there's no one here who has anything to make anything. I mean, in this village, clearly, there's no one here who has anything that could make it. Yeah? You have something?
We do.
Oh, okay. Oh, only if you have enough to spare. Only if you have to spare, and then So they brought in, they put fire in, and then it's like but this. I mean, we got rocks, which is great, right? We got but then we're missing a little. Corn would be like perfect. There's no corn here, right? There's no corn. We got corn. You got corn. You got corn. You got corn. Right. And I know that I know that there are sheriffs, but they are specialized, if I may say so. They specialize on the best cuts of beef. But I'm sure there's no sheriff here that has anything delicious.
No, we do.
You do?
We do, yeah.
You sure? Uh-huh. I don't mean, I don't want to put you out.
No, we want to play.
Okay. And before they knew it, there was fire, there was corn, there was meat, and they were stirring it up. It's like, Well, I mean, if you all want some, I mean, I'm more than willing to share. So they put up a bowl, scooped it up. Careful, it's hot. That is good. Now you know why the rock.
What's for dessert?
And pause. What's up it? And pause. We are out of time, but I'm going to say a couple quick things because thank you for participating. You can see the strategies that I'm using. I know the story. The story is stone soup. There are variations of it. I was asked to do a holiday stone soup. And so my push was, for me, and this is where my voice comes in, this is what you as storytellers and your take on things is strangers and not being welcoming. And that push to keep everybody else out, and then how do you bring them in. It became a holiday one because in this version of the story, I asked the farmers they were farmers and bakers and gardeners, and I said, come up with a joke that you want to tell the other group. And why did the clown, because baker not leave because he was on a roll, like that kind of oh! So they all told a story, and then the stranger, who then became 3 people, was like, do you all know how to sing? And I said, all right then, here we go, and I'm going to ask you to sing with me. It's like, do, no peace,
no peace.
Pacem, pacem,
Pacem.
And in English that's give us peace, peace. as the story ended, they were singing. I had an assistant with sun on a stick, and, morning, noon, night in front of the stage. And one of the young people was like, look, here comes the sun again. And it says we were having so much fun together, because the theme was like, you go to your place, you go to your place, that we forgot to be scared. Let's thank the strangers. The three of us took off our geese and disappeared. So the villager, every shortest day, nobody would eat all day for Ramadan, to remember how hungry they were. They would all cook together to remember how to share, and they would set a table with 3 empty seats in case the strangers came back, which is a little bit of Elijah, and they would sing together. And then I turned to the audience, will you sing with us? Call and repeat. We sang for the audience. So that's my voice saying, I'm telling my reason to do that. And I just think that we are allowed to shape something to get that sense of, and guide it. I guided that. The villagers could have been like, sure, come eat, stranger. My version of the story is like, they didn't, and then they were tricked in. But you also played multiple roles throughout, so you're doing different points of view. Yeah, we need 10 more minutes to debrief that, but I want to thank you for your time and know that I will throw up my email up. You can reach out any friggin' time if you want to talk about that. I actually have a script version of it. So this unfolded over 6 to 8 days, a worth of work. But we narrowed it down. We've already rehearsed it. We've got the whole thing, right? We've done the play. Right? Does this make sense? We've done the play. It just now is like, and the last thing I will say is when I do a show, when I do a performance, I put myself on the stage with the young people. It's unfair, I think, to put them up and go, here's the mic. Go up there. Class 4, are you ready? Audience, are you ready? Let's all say that. Ready? Audience, are you ready? When the audience is ready, then you start. But all the parents are having a good time talking to each other. They don't know when things start. Just until they're ready, go, and then do it. But put yourself on stage so that you can be like the narrator that holds the energy and supports that. And you're part of the story, right? The transition. All right, I'm done.